some docs as everyone's coming in. Oh, it should have had it. Give me a second. Just getting started here. If anybody is Oh no, it has it.
Waiting
it's just,
around.
In the quote tweet. Sorry.
Audio level's good. All that. Oh, give me a second here. We might get a little bit of an echo. Okay, here we go. How's the quality on this? Okay, it looks a little blurry, but should be okay.
Hey, what's up, Clockwork?
Why am I getting audio? Oh, that's why. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Let's go back to planning. So this was yesterday. This is unfinished. Let's say start first pass on. So start. We used to verify. Okay, then today, what we're going to do, we're going to implement state transitions and test, implement basic character states. Now, we don't have really much to go off on yet because we don't even have an input system at the moment. So we're just gonna be able to do as much as we can, and we're gonna circle back and finish them up later. Can everybody hear me just fine? Sorry, bit of allergy attack this morning, so I'm getting a little bit of a late start. Seasonal allergies are nasty out here. Okay. So I need to, whoops. Hopefully everything will be fine. I just had to shut down VPN. Okay. I'll give people a few minutes if they want to watch. I know it's late, so can't really expect many people. Just give them some time. Offline? What's going on? Okay, we're already back? Seems like you're frozen. Oh, there we are. Okay, that was strange. I guess while I'm waiting here, I'll submit some stuff. I'm gonna do some bookkeeping. I want to up to the Git Norfolk because right now we have this. Does this work in Git? Can I do as a wildcard and then how can I do that in Git? So I'm curious how you get this to match any directory with zig out. Because right now, aesthetically, zig cache isn't. This is what these directories are. I want to match everything that has zig cache. However, frauds matches frauds and a frauds. That is the directory. Wait, so I'm confused. Would this match? Oh, okay. I didn't need a star. Fantastic. Let me. Okay. And cool. Let's go back to our work. Okay, looks like we got a few people in. Shout out if you want to. But I think I'm going to get started here. I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing today. You know, yesterday, we got to start on like implementing this character state machine, and we just did our first zig test. And then today I'm just going to continue implementing it. I'm just implement the state transitions and test them. So first we need to implement the state transition processor. I mentioned this before. It's the thing that's actually going to run our state machine. It's not the states themselves, but what takes in the current state and determines which next state is going to come out. So first thing we need to do is go to our, where was our files? Action state machine. Yeah, we know the common states, our state machine. Okay. So we implemented this registry, right? This registry struct. So the next thing we need to do is implement our common state machine processor. You know what? Yeah. Should we stick with that naming scheme? I'm wondering about that. I don't want to make it so generic, so I don't want to indicate, hey, this is a generic state machine thing, because it's going to be used specifically for our combat stuff. So the question is, I don't know if I want to use name action or combat. I will stick with combat for now. Okay. It's pretty clear what we're using it for if we do that. Okay. So what do we need in our combat state machine processor? Well, we could store. We could either store the registry here, or we could store it somewhere else. So that's one thing I'm trying to think about doing. Well, for now, we'll store it in the processor. It's registry, right? So we need it's called the registry. I keep doing that registry. You see registry. Can I default it like this? I always keep forgetting. We'll see. And just to see if it compiles. I'll do that. No, it doesn't compile. Can I just do that? That's gonna be fine. So I think I have things defaulted correctly here. Shouldn't have to worry about it. No. Oh. Oh, that C++ have it right there. Got it. that doesn't work. I know that kind of might work. Kind of, maybe. Yeah, kind of maybe, but again, I don't know if this is a good habit to write it like this. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Runs and keeps track of a state machine. Okay. So we got the registry. Now we need some functionality, right? So let's do this. So let's, for now, let's just call it update state machine. Okay. Well, and actually, we're gonna have to need we're gonna need a current state, right? So for now, we need a variable, the current state. So the current state is going to be a we need to be a commit state ID. So it's going to be the current state. You know, for now we're just going to default to standing. We'll come back, maybe change that later. Cool. So what we're going to have to do is, looks like Rust. I think it takes, this is Zig, but it does take, I think, similar directions for syntax that like other modern programming languages have taken, such as the type as a postfix. Okay. So when we update our state machine, this is basically going to be the idea. Of course, we have the on tick, and if this is does this work? Can we do? What I want to see is we did this down here, I think. Yeah. So first of all, we need to get the current state we're working with, right? Yeah, we need to do from our registry. Okay. This is the basic idea. We're going to get the current state, and then we're going to run the state update. Well, we need to check to see if it actually has a function defined, right? Okay. So this isn't optional, but you know, okay, for now, before we do this, we need to generate our default states. So let's just do this, generate default states for now. We might change how we handle this later. And we're going to do something like this, right? We need to register. We need to do something like this. We're going to take some of our test code. Oops. We don't need to do this. And this is just an empty state callback thing, right? So we don't want to do this. what we want to do is okay, I think I know what I want to do here. I don't want to do this. I'm just, sorry, I'm just brainstorming right now how I want to handle this. So what we need to do is if, does this work? So this is an optional, right? Then you can pass this as a capture. Then we can do something like also if I'm curious about the undefined keyword. I'm actually entirely sure what undefined means. Is this, can I do something like this? Does this work? So I know it's a pointer. Oops, that's error here. Let's comment that out real quick. Oh, oops. Oh, sorry. It's okay. So you can do null functions like this. Okay. So what I want to do here is we do current state, and then if we have the update function registered for it, so if state dot, it doesn't find it for us. If state dot on update, then we call that. Oops. We can, I think that works. We call on update. Oh, self again, which needs to be a pointer to, I'll bet. This is a very C++ habit, right? Okay, that builds. So, there we go. Okay, that works there. Well, I haven't made a test yet, so I'm gonna make a test to, okay. We're gonna set up a state machine, set up, so we're gonna set up the state machine processor. We need to register a state. Okay, we need test state. So what I want to do here is we have our test state, and we need to assign on not on start but on update. So we're going to test running one update of a state on the state machine. Okay, so we need to assign this to a function. And can we define a local function like this? So, let's see. Can we have a local function like this? And then we can do try. So, well, that's not actually going to do anything for us. How do we want to handle this? We just want to test to see if test on update runs. So, okay, let's just do this for now. So this is going to be the run. We're going to run the thing. Oh. I'm going to do something like that. It's actually not going to build. Okay, so actually, that's funny, Johnny Mahler. I was thinking just that. They actually need to go inside of a struct. I don't. It's kind of where you start looking at a new language, you start getting a little bit of a instinct for how things should go. So okay. I'm just gonna say a dummy for now. Oops. Get back into those, you know, non-C++ habits. Oh yeah, thanks for dropping by again. You are always very helpful figuring out these things. So it doesn't need a comment there. So, oops. Let's call it. Don't need to do test on update like that. So what did I mess up? Variables must be initialized. So, oops. Does that work again? Hold on. Oh, again. Oops. I gotta get used to this. It's not a type. I gotta get used to this way of doing things. Okay, so does that mean I can do this as well? Can't do that. Can't do that. Okay. Fair enough. I think you mentioned yesterday struct fields have to be like this, so I might need pub. You're right. I might need pub. That's a good point. I didn't make any of these pub either. So that's not pub. This is pub. Okay. Got to make sure the outside world could see it. We are all learning together. Okay. So I need an actual test here. So how can I handle this? Because we're not making any changes on the update, right? One thing we could do is have, so that's actually, I'm curious about this. I assume we can't do any captures like this, right? We can't capture this global. Well, it's not really global, but it is like in the namespace of this test. So I was wondering if I can do something like this, and yeah, I can't capture stuff like this, right? It doesn't make any sense. But, or does it make sense? Do I have access to, I'm assuming this feels like something Zig wouldn't do. Has to be explicit using normal fields. Okay, this makes more sense. So what I can do, I think, what can I do? So basically I just want to test to see if there's a variable change on update, something like this, like test var equals true, and then it would have you know, try standards test expects test var equals true, something like that. But I can't do this, so oh, you're back. I need some water. You can make an instance of the dummy and make that a field. I guess what I don't understand there is structs aren't really, like, if I pass this function in like this, having trouble with the stream drops. Okay. Yeah, what I don't get is if, because this is just a pointer to a function, right? There's no, I'm not actually using the struct, right? It's just a way for me to give namespace to a function. So I'm not actually using the state within the struct itself. Sorry. So state machine processors unaware of things, this like dummy structure I've made. So it wouldn't really make sense to test that. See, I'm just thinking here. There's no kind of capture mechanism. So what can I do? Make test for our global. Yeah, that was I was thinking too. How do globals end up working in Zig? I've actually not made use of them outside of like. So if I would have to put it outside the test. I couldn't do it within the test. Like, Sorry. So yeah, that doesn't build. Yeah. So I'd have to put. So I mean, I could see a world where I was doing something like. Oh man. Because I guess I just want to tell you my thinking here. I don't want states to have any kind of states shouldn't have variables, right? Or states like that. They might have configurations, but I don't want to store any state within the state itself. I want the stuff to be all external. So what I can do is add a context to the states, because eventually they're gonna have to get a context anyway. And I guess I can test that they made a change to the context. It's a little different test because what I really want to test just to see if something was called or not. So yeah. Okay, we can go in and add context. Right now, we don't, let's just say, um, we don't have anything to put in the context. So let's just make a new context struct. Context, oops, this is state context. I'm just going to go to combat state context for now. Equals, this is an empty struct for now. Okay. We'll have to go through here and update all these things, so it's going to be a pointer, right? Okay. You know what? Let's just do it on update for now. We might change this later, so let's just do that so we don't have to update everything. Okay. We don't have to update our first test because we don't actually do anything with that. We have to update this though. Yeah, the thing is though, we're still going to have to create dummy variables. Oh yeah, the idea is there's going to be context going to the state machine. They're not going to have access to global variables at all. I'm trying to isolate what bits of code have access to. So I don't use global variables. I'm just thinking a little bit here. Let's get rid of this. There is some patterns for this. Okay. Do you happen to be aware of the kind of pattern you can use for that? But yeah, it sucks 'cause I don't want to just insert some test variables into the combat state context. So yeah. It's too big. Okay. Let's think of something real quick. You know, I didn't want to overly complicate our beginning steps on the state machine by adding a context, but it looks like we might have to just for testing purposes. Yeah, and I don't want context just to be like a generic. I don't even know if we can do this anyway, but you know, let's see. What can we do here? Well, let's just provide a context. Okay, in our state machine. So comment state. I see, Johnny Marler. I guess I don't understand. Even if you like do that to kind of simulate subclassing, the function still would take the subclass as an argument. So I don't know how they would take the outer class. Oh, field. Okay. So you can convert the outer class. I see. So that would be one way to handling this. Field parent pointer. Let me pull that up in the documentation. Giving a pointer to a field returns the base pointer of a struct. So comp time you pass. Okay, it's comp time stuff. So I haven't talked too much about comp time on the stream, but yeah, looks like this would do it at build time. Okay, you give it the parent type, give it the field name, and the pointer, which could be the type is literally like just raw data. Okay, how do they end up using this here? I just want to see example. So struct field orders. Okay. So they're using like this point structure. The field is X, I guess, and the value is X. Okay. They use anywhere else in the documentation? No. Okay. I don't know if I want to handle it exactly this way. I'll tell you what, for now, because this adds a lot more complication, so I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Let's see. A little bit stumped about what I want to do here for testing this. What are we going to error about here? I was still remembering that. Okay. Oh, test far doesn't exist. Sorry. Oh man. Okay. Oh, cool. This is a gist. Thank you. Let me check that out. Yeah, and I do keep forgetting we actually do have access to. Hold on. I'm gonna use my other account so we can have access to it here. I keep forgetting we do have Godbolt. So So we don't have to test things here. We can test it here. We do need a main function though. It won't compile. Just to test the idea here, we'll put it in Compiler Explorer. So a base struct. So a base struct here with a function, dummy variable that is defined to be a function pointer that takes the base pointer, a struct pointer. Okay. And then you have a subtype, which includes the base as an actual variable, not a pointer. And then we have our function for this, and we assign it. Oh, it's kind of like a virtual table. Okay, I was thinking it would be something like that. So we'll have the foo function within the subtype, and we just it's basically just assigning this, right? So I mean, how would we use this? Like we could make let's say we make a function, test func. What's not void? Test func is void, and it takes a base pointer. Is this how we would do it? We'd have a base pointer to base. And we could do something on base. I don't know. Like oops, we could do it. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. This is actually what I want to do. What I want to do is convert. So if test function takes base, how would we convert it to the subtype? What does a typical unit test look like in game development? I wouldn't say it's any different than other software fields. You just test, well, when you can, you just test simple functions to see if they make a state change. And see if the state changes what you expect. Okay. Let's see. Just let me try to get my head around here. I'm a bit of a dummy, so. Okay. So the sub is responsible for populating the base field. And that's what this does. It returns the base pointer of a struct. This is what I don't understand, because why would we need to return the base pointer of a struct? Is it not possible just to like get the pointer to this directly? I guess I don't understand why we need a special operator, a special command. What do you want to call it? Oh, so it has to be sub. Okay. Sometimes you have to sit here and just think about things to make sense to you. Update the gist with the init function you want. So, uh, oh, you updated it. Okay. Let's look what you're doing here. By the way, very helpful. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, okay, we have our base struct stored within the subtype. We have this init function, which returns a struct. I guess it's assuming that is, oh, it's a subtype. So you don't have to actually explicitly say sub here because it knows it is a return type. With the field base assigned to, okay, struct with foo set to foo, where foo is this struct's own function, which takes the base as a pointer. Is that necessary? Oh, I guess it is necessary because you need to get self. You need to convert that to the subtype. I got it. Okay. Just give me a second to let it sink in. Let me just copy pasta your code real quick. And back into Godbolt. Let's redo this. And okay, so ultimately I would have something like then functionally it'll have to do something like I don't know. We have to make a var test equals sub and then we have to do sub init. Sorry, test sub. The problem is init, we don't pass self into init. Oh, okay, got it. So we have to do not this sub, we have to do something like sub dot init. Oops. Like that. Then we could do, that would work. And then we have the test function. Okay. Whoops, I deleted my test function though. Hold on. Let me do that. Oops. Oh no. Let's rebuild my test function real quick, which shouldn't be hard. Pub. It takes base, right? And then we'd have something like, yeah, like you said, the address of the, so it would be able to, oh, dot base, right, dot base. So that works, but we're just passing in the base, aren't we just passing in the base, oh, okay. So then we could do like base foo, right? And that should compile. So okay, the problem, we can't just call base.foo. We have to actually explicitly pass in base, right? Or do we not have to do that? I think it doesn't actually have to be called self, right? So we could pass in base. Okay, base.foo. And then we can say test var equals true. And you know, obviously we can do if test sub dot test var. Can we do this? Return. I don't know if this, you can do this in, whoops. I don't know if you can do this in Zig, but where's our compiler errors? Expected statement found dot comment 18. Oh, that's an actual error. Okay. Oh, right. Self, again, those C++ habits are getting to me. Oh, they have to be, you have to pass. Is this some kind of, oh, that needs to be void. $34. Oh yeah, I guess main doesn't actually return int. What? Well, anyway, we could do, just to verify this, let's just do what is it? So I can do something like this. Oops. Sorry. Oh, I didn't want to return anything here. Sorry, I was just looking for to insert, and I'm going to use the start to test a variable. Expected one argument found 0 base.foo. So I didn't actually like this. What did I mess up? Checking your messages. Let's see. Again, once again, we spend a lot of time trying to get around to where we actually can test stuff. So it seems not to like just calling dot base dot foo, even though it should just assume. So why doesn't that work? Yeah, it's a bit of a brain teaser. Let's see. Yeah, much appreciated for you walking me through it. Why is it complaining that I can't call foo? Is it because it's a pointer? I should be able to call it like this with the syntax, right? Or can I not? Yeah, that's what I thought too, but for some reason I thought it would assume self because self is assigned here. Okay, maybe because it's just a function pointer and not an actual function. It can't do that kind of syntax sugar. Okay. Okay, let's break the test real quick, right? By counting this out. Make sure it's working as expected. Okay. Well, unused local constant. Okay, let's just set to false then. Okay. I don't know why the debugger start didn't throw anything. This is compiler return 0. I guess it's not going to show anything. Anyway, it looks like that works pretty well. So let me just go ahead and take this idea and apply it to our state machine stuff. So let me just update this. I don't want the whole thing. We just want this kind of thing. So let's just paste it here. That's not going to auto format. We don't need this. So, whoops. So we would have to take, sorry, format, auto formatting isn't great. So we'd have to do something like, so we need the context. Well, for now, we'll just leave the context in for now, but we're not actually going to use the context at the moment. So, yeah. I don't know if I'm 100% comfortable with this stuff, but give it a shot. So we need something like we need a base that is we don't have this right now, but and we need the test var, which is a bool, is set to false by default. It wouldn't be sub, actually. Obviously, it would be our well, it's dummy for now. I'm not really good at naming things, so base would not be base. It would be commit, and then oops, no, that's right. I'm the wrong thing. It would be okay. So hold on a second. Give me a second here. it's okay. I'm going to do some renaming here so it doesn't confuse me later. Oh, hey, what's up, Tone? No, we're just moving a little slowly. It might be a little hard to watch this on a phone. I imagine the text is a little small. Okay, so our base is going to be the callbacks. I don't know what I'm complaining about there. What's it saying? And then, okay, for now. See, I really don't want to do this. I don't feel a need in the, yeah, this pattern. I'm not entirely comfortable with, to be honest. It makes sense, but the way we want to do things here, But anyway, let's just roll with it for now. Again, it feels a little tricky to me. So yeah, we just get a self here, and then we can operate on the self. Okay, and our base is going to be these callbacks, and then we'll have to change. The problem is we'll have to change on update to take this and a context. Oh yeah, I mean I get that it makes it much more like a object in other programming languages. Oh, this should be dummy parent type. So it says compound parent type. That's the confusing part. But I get it. I get it why it would be dummy. I just don't know why the documentation seems to say parent type. Okay. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Because technically, it is the parent. It's not like a inheritance thing. It's it literally this has a base pointer in it. So yeah. Wait, do we even need to do that? Well, we should just do that. It should be fine, right? Okay. What else do we need to do? We don't actually have to put anything in the base other than a pointer, which we already have. We have the pointer, and we need the init, right? The init thing is important. So let's make an init. It's a pretty complicated test function. So it won't be sub, it will return dummy. And the base pointer will point not foo, but on update to our on update, right? And we're going to have to go back here and change on update to take not only a context, but the base or self. We can call it self or whatever, right? I'm just going to do it for now. I might change it later. I'm in the deep end of Zig. Yeah, I really didn't want to get this far down. So, okay. This is a dummy. Why did it get a semicolon there? I guess it's because it's returning. I don't know. What have I done? What have I done? What did I miss? Are they all these brackets set aligned? I just have to do this because my brain doesn't work the other way. Well, I'm gonna leave it like that. So these are matched up, these are matched up, these are matched up, these are matched up, and these are matched up. Okay. And then we have to call init. Yeah, so test rate is not going to be equal to this. It's going to be equal to, we don't have to do this anymore. We do dummy, it's going to be equal to dummy.init. Okay. So that init should return the base with the onUpdate function pointer pointing to our onUpdate. Cool. And then we're going to have a test var inside our set to false. And within our own onUpdate, this gets set to true. And first, let's comment it out to make sure our test fails. And it won't be that, it'll be test_state.testVar. And then we need to call, we go back to the state machine processor. And on the update, we need a context. I'm just going to make a temporary context here. You know, we have the temporary context. So we have the context, and then we're going to have, I forgot the context of the pointer, right? Context is a pointer, pointer, I think. Wait, where'd it go? It has a pointer. So we need to pass in the address of it. And then we need to pass in, sorry. Oh, so that's not going to work the way I'm doing this, because I'm checking to see if, okay, let's just, maybe that will work. Let's just do this. Let's just see if that builds real quick. I'm not even sure it's going to build. No, yeah. Not entirely surprised. Oh, yeah, it needs to be self.context. Self.context, got it. Self.context. What's the next error? We're on 85. Oh, wait. Error, use of undeclared identifier for a dummy. Wait. What is the problem? Is it a previous error that's preventing it from recognizing dummy? What's the problem? What am I not seeing? Maybe it needs to go outside a test. That could be really, it could be the case. Well, let's just do it for now, because we're probably going to move these tests to another file anyway, and we could have some setup code, and this would be included in that test setup code as like common functionality we could use for other things. Okay. Oh no, what? Unused local constant. Oh, it's unused, so, oops. Yes, right, okay. Okay, hopefully our test will just work now, or fail, hopefully. Oh, I guess it didn't build, so. Oh, unused function parameter on update. Oh, I didn't use the context. Great. That makes sense. Is there a discard keyword or something in Zig, just so I could? Yeah, I don't need the context for now, but I will need it. But I feel like now I'm testing functionality that I'm not even using. Oh, underscore equals context. Is that a way to discard? Oh, okay. Interesting. So it's the beginning of. Huh. Okay, so it builds now. Oops, that's not the test. What? It didn't. Wait, is it just test? What? Oh. So this is sorry, I changed this earlier. Um, I should go back to it. I was just testing something. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so I have to make it optional, right? Ah, that's right. Okay. So, it needs to be optional. Is that gonna break things though? Because null isn't the same type as a pointer. So, you're right. Okay, let's try the test again. What does it like about this? Okay, hold on. Is it Zig build test? Okay, but is it Zig test? Yeah, that's what I thought. You could do that. So it's interesting the build doesn't work. What? What is it? Expected type combat state callbacks. Found pointer to dummy. Oh, I have to do that. Hold on, let me clear real quick. Oops. Okay. Expected type usize found combat state ID. Okay. So I can't do that. It's interesting that this compiled. I guess I didn't check anything. Okay, so this doesn't work. I wanted to see if the, is it 48? Yeah. So current state is the state ID. I need to do some kind of enum to int or something. Enum to int. Does enum to int work for this? So I'm using the ID as an offset into the array. Array access of a non-array type. Oh. Oops. Oh, it needs to be a pointer. Okay, got it. That's part of it. Error types. These are stored as pointers, by the way, so I don't think I need that, right? It needs to be found a pointer to const. Hold on, it's hard to read. Wait, found const pointer. What? Oh, I don't need this because it should be expected pointer to state callbacks found const. Okay, so that's right. So this is a const. It's becoming const here. Is it because these are stored as it's a const pointer? Where's the point? You know, I have to update this. It has to be this, right? Hold on. That's gonna also be const. So that's gonna fix things for us? No. So it means pointer to const t. It doesn't mean a const pointer. Ah, okay. Gotcha. All right, so we have pointer to const data. So I mean, the way I originally designed this was you're just gonna have a list of functions that's used for updating state. It really wasn't intended to have their own variables and states. So I don't know. I was like, for now, let's do this, but I feel like we've gone down a dark path where we had things that were const now have state. Comment states are just a list of pointers to well, it's actually optional. So it's an array of optional pointers to constant. Okay, so this is why this is what's going on here, and this is what I originally intended. I didn't intend any of this to be modifiable, but we will just bite the bullet for now and come back around, I guess. Yeah. I feel like I'm doing a lot of work that I have to come back and do it later. Okay, so the test failed. Okay, actual table being more complicated. That makes sense. That register. So our test did fail. 108. So we need to fix the test by setting this to true. Okay, test pass. Amazing. That was quite a bit of a roundabout thing, but yeah, I mean, this works. We'll work with this for now. I don't want these lists of state event functions to actually have state, right? The only reason we are passing in base pointer to these things is just for the test. So that's the only thing I feel very uncomfortable about, especially moving forward on this. It's just like, yeah, this shouldn't even be here. So it's effectively, I mean, it's not a V table because nothing was ever going to derive from, how do I put it? I guess you can think of it as V table, yeah, but I wasn't trying to re-implement a concept of inheritance, right? It was just a list of callbacks that need to be made for a particular state. It sounds a little funny, but states don't have states. States are singular. I mean, what's going on in my head basically is, of course, you have a list of common states represented by a single enum value. And then unique states that are implemented per character are going to have their own unique ID, what's going to be registered in the state registry. And they'll be able to implement their own functions. So it does, in a way, act like a V table. But again, I'm not trying to do something like inheritance. It's just a way for you to implement callbacks to execute unique functionality per state. I didn't want to go anything beyond that. So yeah, because there's no reason for there to be this. There's no reason to pass in this. these instances of the callbacks to the event functions, because there's not supposed to be any state within itself, right? Yeah, Johnny Muller, I was thinking the same thing too. So we'd remove the base field and we would use context to store it. And then we wouldn't actually have to introduce the callback struct instance into the call, right? Not into the callback. We wouldn't need it there. How much time do we have here? Let's see if we can redo that for a second. I'm not in a huge rush. Let me get some water. It's gonna be a little longer stream than normal, I guess. I'll work all the way up through lunch. I hate to make these things too long, especially for people who watch later. So I will be right back. Okay. Yeah. Let's remove. Let's remove this from the onUpdate itself. Okay. We shouldn't have to pass the state into this. Yeah. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to have to derive from we have to do the same thing with the context. It was going to be like, and this will end up being context. Will we do something like this? So it won't be dummy or base like this. It'd be something like context dot based and whatever our new context is. Like so we'll be moving some of the stuff here, right? Base want to be this, but it would be combat state context, right? And then we have to have this the init function would be in here. How we would do this? Give me a second here to ponder this. So this would let us convert from to our test context, right? Oh, base equals is necessary. Wait, give me a second. That doesn't quite. Dot base equals this. So what do we miss? Dot base equals. Oh yeah, we don't need this, right? You're correct. Okay. Just give me a second. There's a bit of a delay here, so round trip time and all. Okay, so we're able to make a base, which is assigned to its default value of combat state context. Again, and we'll have to initialize. I'm just running around real quick. So a test state. So what we'll have to do is, just give me a second here. We have to be, oops. or context equals test context dot init. That's going to do that for us. Now we're still going to have to register this test state, and what we did previously was dummy. So actually I probably can move this back into here. Well, for now I'm going to leave it to this. So the dummy is going to be, it's going to be dot on update equals, wait, hold on a second, give me a second. No, it's not going to be dummy. It's going to be combat state callbacks, where this is equal to the dummy dot on update. So we have that. Oh, it shouldn't be context at base. Okay. So we're starting our callback here. Initializing our, this should be this, not dummy. Okay. So we're initializing this. Oh, wait, no, or it should be, sorry. I need to be very clear thinking about what's happening here. When we were looking back at our Godbolt example, the init function, what was it doing? So it did return this type. Okay. So what we need to do now is actually we need to provide the context. So if we set the processor dot context equal to context dot base, well, the problem is this is not a pointer right now. Okay, let's go back and double around on this stuff. Okay. So let's change for now. Let's change this to a pointer. Oh, but it has to be assigned to something, right? So it has to be an optional pointer. And then we don't have to pass in, or we could do something like this, right? If self capture that context and pass it in. Is that going to work? It's more common not to have the default initializer, so let's just have this like this. Okay. I hope I'm looking at the right thing. Again, there's a little bit of delay when I read your message, so okay. So we have the context, which gets captured if the optional is assigned to a value, and then we call on update. Okay, it's a lot of ifs, nested ifs here. Okay, so back in our test, we need to initialize the context using this function, and we're going to register the common state using our test state. We don't need, well, hold on real quick. So we don't need to do this anymore. It just needs to be test state. And okay, we'll just register there, and then before we update, we'll update the context, then update state machine. Okay, is that gonna work for us? Oh, I forgot to semicolon, I guess. Semicolons everywhere. Okay. Well, let's just clear that out. Redeclaration of function parameter context. Okay. Oh. Okay. So it does work. 100. Missing field context. So it's complaining that it's not assigned. I mean, anyway, I'm just going to assign it to. Okay, it's confusing. Combat machine processor. Oh, it needs to be. You're right. It's a better way to do that. What you're talking about. I don't need to reassign it at this point. So let's do this. Move our context. Hold on. Let's just do that for now. Let me move this to the top real quick. Or maybe the more logical way, I think, is to do it right before we register. Technically, yeah. Since it's a pointer, we have to do this. Okay. We don't need this anymore. Hold on. Just I know there's an error here. It's on 109. Yeah, so that's not where we're looking at our context, not this one. Sorry. Pointer value not based on parent struct. So, you sure it's not like this though? Okay, right. Yeah, it wouldn't have dot base, it would be context. Give me a second. What was the error we got before? Pointer value not based on parent struct. Okay. Sorry. So pointer value is not based on parent struct, which means it wasn't. The compiler caught that. That's actually kind of nice. I just want to kind of follow this from where the error starts. So onUpdate passes in a pointer to the combat state context. I'm trying to convert this context into its subtype, right? We're trying to convert it into test context. This init function. Do we even need to do this at all? Like, can we just do this? Shouldn't the same thing happen? Like, do we even need the base? Well, we do need the base. We do need base. Do we need base? Well, it's not a pointer, so we don't really need to assign it. So we don't need init. Let's get rid of that. We just need the base pointer, not base pointer, but base, you know, the base struct inside of it. Variable type must be constant or comp time. Not why. Let's just clear this out one more time and double check that. 93. It must be. Wait. This has nothing to do with that, right? It's also interesting. What is the dot dot dot? That's not necessary, right? You're just kind of aliasing, ellipsing it to say whatever you need to assign inside. Well, yeah. I guess I don't quite understand this. So this is about returning the base pointer of a struct. Did I mix things up? Let's look back at this example. So the base pointer is the base to is the base type, and in this case, we are giving a pointer to the base type. This is kind of confusing to me. I guess, like, why does it need a field name? I just don't understand what that's doing. Yeah. I don't entirely understand. This says given a pointer to a field returns the base pointer of a struct. Giving a pointer to a field. I'm surely I messed up something here. Let's just like look very closely at. Oh, by the way, anybody who's getting into game development or software development in general, this is what you're going to spend a lot of your time on. Figuring out stuff like this. Not doing the cool game development, actually making the game part. It's like, oh, what is this programming language trying to tell me? It's like, you're an idiot, dummy. Look for where you did the dumb thing. This is a true software development. Anyway, yeah. Field parent pointer might only work inside the type. You may be correct there, sir. So what would I have to do? I would have to do something else. Yeah, it'd be nice if the documentation said that this had to be used inside of the type. If that's true, actually, well, here they don't use it inside the type in this documentation, I think. Yeah, it looks like this function is completely outside. And then they have they have a point struct here. Oh, it could be a bug. Well, This is a it is a language still in development, so not too surprising that you run into a compiler bug. I guess the bug comes from the fact that I'm trying to do this inside another struct or something instead of a standalone function. Honestly, I don't even have to do this. I can pull this out now that we're global here. Maybe this will work. Get rid of the whole dummy thing. We don't need to be this like this, and maybe that'll work. That didn't work either. Maybe it's the version of SIG I'm using. It's kind of interesting because they can do that here. Sorry, just for I don't need to export that, so pointer value not based on parent struct. That could be the case. Wait. Huh. How can the compiler know that at compile time anyway? I'm guessing because because I'm storing the pointer as a the optional here as a context. This could be anything at runtime effectively, right? So how would the compiler know to be able to convert it? Maybe it's much more clever than I'm giving it credit for, but yeah, because we are storing the context like this. Because I think in the case of this, they're converting this point, sorry, this x value. Wait, what is going on here? They're giving a pointer to a field within, whoa, okay. They're giving a pointer to a field within a existing structure. They don't actually have the structure itself. So if you have a pointer to a field in the struct, you can get a pointer to the struct. That's what this seems like this is intended for. It calculates the base pointer. So what I'm thinking here is, and this is complete huge tangent for what we're working on here, investigating this issue. This isn't a field inside. Maybe it works, but this isn't a field inside of the struct we want. Or maybe they're talking about this. See, I really. So they're saying like this pointer is this field, right? This pointer is this field. So what I should be doing, which I did, I assigned it like this so that it is a field. Ultimately it gets down to here. Maybe this is something the way I've done this. I've checked to see if the context is correct here. I mean, if I did this, would it fix it? Oh. So that doesn't work. Hold on. Let's do that. Does it automatically convert? Unused capture. I'm just spitballing here. Doesn't work. I'm doing wild things now. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay. I'm not entirely sure of the syntax of the optionals, but I'm getting there. How much time have we gone on here? Well, we're almost going on 2 hours, and I just feel like I'm digging a deeper and deeper pit on this stuff. So I guess what I'm going to do is cut it off for now. We'll come back around and think about another way to implement this stuff in Zig. I'll put some time into it myself and test some things, and yeah, I'll come back and finish off. Unfortunately, we still haven't finished off the basic state machine stuff yet because we're just testing code. No, I guess that's part of the risk with adopting a in development language, but it's fine. Let's let's just call it for now. And but I really appreciate anybody who stuck around. If you have any final questions, just let me know. And other than that, I hope you all have a good night. I'm sure it's pretty late out there if you're in the U.S. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, as always, thanks for coming by, and I hope to see you soon. Maybe stream tomorrow morning as well, and we'll I'm gonna put some thought into this and see what we could do. So, if you get past it, you could just add test var to combat. Yeah, I know that's definitely a thing I could do, but then it's like injecting code for a test into some. So, what's the point of running the test at that point? I guess, but yeah. Cool. Well, that's gonna be it. Again, thanks for coming by. See you soon. Hope you all have a nice rest of your day. Peace.